How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I'm looking at if you had invested your stimulus check in these couple different companies and different investments, how your return would look now, about almost a month later now. So this isn't meant to say that you should have done this or you could have done this. This is just kind of to see the options that are out there. If you are investing God and you just got really lucky, what kind of return you could make. And it's just kind of for entertainment purposes. Don't take this too hard or, give me hate in the comments because I didn't do this. I wasn't smart enough to do this. I wasn't lucky enough to do this. So this is just for fun here. So the first thing that I want to look at is just the S&P 500. So the top 500 companies. On April 13, the index cost about $2,721. And April 13 was the first date that people got checks. Actually, they got them over the weekend. A few amount of people got them on that Saturday, and the 13th was the Monday after. So if you had taken that money, threw it in to an investment account on that date, on the low that day, and then had left it in there till today, you would have about a 6% return since then. So pretty good return when you think that's less than a month. And the highest that you would have gotten was back on April 29, when it went up to almost $3,000. So it was at $2,954. So you would have gotten a 9% return. So if you had taken that $1,200 stimulus, thrown it in there on the 13th, then pulled it out about 2 weeks later on the 29th, you would have had about $1,303 instead of the original $1,200. So not bad for a couple weeks of investing in the stock market. Now, let's look at something else. A big name that people like to talk about in investing is Tesla stock. So Tesla is very volatile, but back on April 13, they were about $580. So now they're worth about $788. So if you had thrown in the money then and you have it now, you'd have about a 36% return. Now, their best date was actually April 30, so almost the same date as the S&P 500s. And they were up to about $869 partway through the day that day. And that return is about 50% return. So if you had taken your $1,200 and put it in there, you'd have about $1,798 now. So pretty good. You would have had to pull out the money right at that time, but also a great return there. So before I go on to any more stocks, if you don't mind hitting the like button, and if you want, hit subscribe too. That really helps out the channel. We hit a lot of likes in that last NAT video that I made about how I bought the stock. So if we could beat that, that would be amazing. I appreciate it, guys. I'll let you get back to the video. So the next stock is something that a lot of people have talked about, which is Nordic American Tanker. So if you don't know, I made a video that I'll link here, and I talk about why I invested in them just yesterday. They have gotten a lot of news attention recently, but back on the 13th of April, when you would have gotten your stimulus check and invested in them, they're only about $3.62. Today, they're $4.82, so that's a 33% increase. And they were actually highest back on April 28, when they sold for $9 a share just for a little bit throughout the day. And if you had been able to buy and then sell right then, you would have made about 149% return. So if you had taken that $1,200, invested like a god, been perfect on when you bought and when you sold, you would have about $2,983 now. So kind of cool to look at that. Now on the other hand, you might have been thinking,
oh sweet, I have $1,200. Maybe I want to go buy a ring and get engaged or something like that. Well, maybe a lot of people are doing that. Let's invest in a diamond drilling stock or something like that.
So there are companies that have obviously done well, and there have been companies that have obviously done terrible. So Diamond Offshore Drilling is a company that actually declared bankruptcy on April 26th. So if you had invested your $1,200 on the 13th, you would have been able to buy their shares for about $1.6 a share, and now they're worth only $28 a share. So you would have actually gone negative 83%. So now you would only have about $210 left over out of your $1,200. So that's a cautionary word for you there. Don't just take your money and throw it in whatever everyone else is doing. You could have invested when NAT was at $9 and now it's worth almost half that, and that would have been bad too. So just be careful with what you do. I'm a big proponent of index funds. I talk about a lot of individual stocks on my channel just because that's what people enjoy, and I think that there is room for it now because there's some inefficiencies and some fear in the market. So I think some people are irrationally selling certain stocks, and certain stocks have big potential value right now. But most of my money is still in index funds. I have about 70% of my stocks in index funds and then only about 30% in individual stocks. And even those individual stocks are spread out through about 20 different holdings, and those companies own a bunch of other companies within them. So I'm still really diversified in my risk. But I appreciate it, guys. I hope this wasn't too serious or anything like that. Hopefully you didn't buy any of these things at the peak and then sold them at the depths. But this was just kind of a light thing to show you throughout the day today. So I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.